This Aspire tutorial is crucial. Previously, you used only Aspire. Now I'll show Photoshop integration, vital for internet or customer content. It's often crooked, just like you can see here on the screen. If I show you this picture, look, it's not straight at all. It's narrower here and wider there. If you had to trace this one, what would you do? Now, what we need is everything in a straight form, and then the design and the customer. It's crooked like this, just as you can see here on the screen. If I show you this picture, look, it's not straight at all. It's narrower here and wider there. If you had to trace this one, what would you do? Now, what we need is everything in a straight form, and then the design and the customer's design, that part is the same. But the size of this and the customer size will vary. So with all of these, how do we manage all these things? That's our topic for today. For this, we'll need Photoshop. Of course, we have to use Aspire, but along with that, we'll also talk about Photoshop. So we're working on this same file, the one in front of us right now. And for this file, we'll need to open Photoshop. As soon as I loaded Photoshop here, I'm using Photoshop CC 2018, but you can use whichever version you have. Or whatever is available on your system, you can use that. You'll need to open it from here. Just open the required file. Here, I've opened the file that we're going to work on right now. So what size did our customer give us? The door you see in front of you is basically a frame of a door, one side of it. So what could its size be? Now, you have to consider its ratio. I can say that its width could be 2 feet and its height could be 7 feet. So that's what I've said. Now you'll start making it according to that. How will you set the size? I'm taking the size from here, and here we have the inch size. Let's say I set it to 24 inches here, meaning its width is 24 inches. And here, I set it to 5 feet. Set the resolution here to 150, and then click OK or Create. I've created a file. Come back here now. You should be getting an idea. You can estimate from here. The width is about the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. Meaning, whatever its size is, it's 5 times bigger. Okay, if my customer makes a demand, let's say this panel is 2 feet, with 6 inches on this side and 6 inches on that side, so only 1 foot is left inside. Now, if you add another foot, it becomes 5 feet from here. So the file we just created, this untitled file, you can adjust it by going to Image and then Canvas Size. Here, I've set it to inches. Suppose I set it to 12 inches here, and for the height, let's keep the height at 8 inches, then proceed. So this is what we've created. Now I come to this image. I want to pick up this image and take it over there. So what do we need to do? Now I'm going to show you some tools, and you need to keep these tools in mind. I use the zoom tool with the Z key, and here we have the polygonal lasso tool, which has the shortcut key L. Take the polygonal lasso tool, and from its border, look, I clicked right here exactly. I brought it over here and clicked, then clicked here. You can bring it down, or you can also do this using the spacebar. I clicked here. You just need to select its edge, and when I click back here, it completes the selection. Now you can see a dotted animated line here. Press Ctrl+0 to zoom out to fit everything. Now simply press Ctrl+C to copy it. And then bring it here and press Ctrl+V to paste. Now you have the file here. I'll turn on its layers from here. See, this is our background, and on top of it is layer 1. Now, go to the Move tool, the shortcut is V, and you need to click on this layer, or click on it directly, and press Ctrl+T. What will you press? Ctrl+T. Then, grab it from the sides and adjust it to your desired size. Bring it up on top. See, I'm adjusting it a bit with the arrow keys, so it's gotten a little too big. For now, I'll keep it inside a bit and press Enter. As soon as you press Enter, its resolution will be maintained. Now zoom in a little, press Ctrl+T again. Why aren't you pressing Ctrl+T? Now it will adjust it again. See, we can move it like this. I've placed this corner on one side, hold Control and come to this point, then carefully drag it outward a bit. The border has come out. Press Enter once, then zoom in and see. Press Ctrl plus T, and while holding Control, drag it again to adjust it nicely. Look up here, we can move it like this. I've placed this corner on one side, hold Control and come to this point, then carefully drag it out a bit. The border has come out. Press Enter once, then zoom in and see. Press Ctrl plus T, and while holding Control, drag it and bring it right up to the edge. I've brought it up to the edge now. Press Enter, then Ctrl plus T. If you hold Shift, it comes straight down. Then press Enter. If you drag from here, a guideline appears. It's almost perfectly straight. So there's still a slight difference here as well. Press Ctrl plus T, hold down Control, and also hold Shift, then drag it up a little. See, now the border is straight. In this way, this design has become completely straight. Now, if you feel that this border is a bit dented, you can again use Ctrl plus T like this, and now bring it down from here. If you bring it down from here, the sides will also gradually get bigger. So you need to hold Shift. See, by holding Shift, you can stretch and enlarge it as much as you think makes the design look better. I just set the size by estimation, but I also showed you how to make a general estimate, so you can keep adjusting it approximately like this. So if this size, then you'll definitely need to make it a little bit bigger or perhaps even smaller as precisely needed. I very often see in various groups that when people finally finish designing and meticulously machining their components, they frequently notice that the final product is quite squished. If the customer gives it to you, adjust it bigger or smaller as needed. I often see designs squished after machining, pressed from one side. Never make this mistake. Usually, if a design is here and needs to be made, they stretch it to fill it completely. Now, if you pay attention, this whole design has become elongated. I mean, if I look at this curve, it's stretched out on the upside. But if I take it properly, look at this. This is almost the ratio where the design is set. So, brother, don't make this mistake. The design is repeating. Look here. If I talk from here to here, the design is repeating. Now, if you take it from here, that is, from this spot, the curve is coming like this. If you look from here to here, you get one design. So, brother, you can use this as a reference. That is, from here, this one design. If you look here as well, it's also there. So somewhere in it, there is always a pattern of some design. So put in a little effort and try to extend the design, but don't just stretch any file or design carelessly. Anyway, this just came up in the middle, so I thought I'd share it with you. So this is the method to straighten or flatten a picture in any skewed form. Here I click OK. If I need to change the canvas size below, you can see just go to Image, then Canvas Size. In Canvas Size, switch to inches. If I don't want to set it to 60, I can make it 48 or make it 4 feet. So look, now it's asking us here. If I cancel it, it asks which side, meaning will it go from the bottom upwards? So I set it like this and clicked Proceed. Now, as you can see, since I reduced the size, if you hold Shift, you can adjust it here. Compressing it this much won't cause any issues. The proportions you have are almost correct. Everything's fine. So this is how it works. So one thing I've shown you is how to flatten or straighten any skewed design. The shortcut key for this is Ctrl plus T. Using Ctrl plus T, you can do all this work. Now, since I need to trace it, I want to make it a bit smoother so that the edges don't show up during tracing. So the very first thing you'll do is go to Adjustments and adjust its brightness. See, I've increased the brightness here and also increased the contrast a bit so that the black and white ratio improves. After that, you'll see there's an option for levels. Now go to levels, and here you can fine tune it even more. See, now it's gone completely and utterly black. Now, there are indeed some specific parts here that you can meticulously adjust as you proceed. Look closely. If I carefully bring this particular element over here, you'll notice that the parts that were previously in much lighter colors get automatically adjusted as well, adapting to the changes. Once I click the OK button, you can clearly see that the entire design is now completely black and white, and it's important to remember that tracing truly works best with a good high-contrast black and white image. So the little zigzag you see here can also be managed there. Once you've done this much work, you need to come here and export it. Choose Export As, and you can export it as a PNG or JPEG. Let's do JPG. Okay, once you select JPG, it shows you the sizes here. Click Export All. After saving, if you want to keep this file, you can. If you want to save it, go ahead and save it. This is up to your needs. It's your choice and your work. Now look, this was the design, and we flattened it from here, okay? So if I bring it up from here, you can clearly see it now. Look, this is the image, and the one we grabbed earlier is this one. The image we started working with is this one, and the final image we got is this one. So now, after this, we'll move on to Aspire. In Aspire, I'll do it the same way. I'm gonna create a new file, which will be 12 inches in size from here and 48 inches from here, with a 0.7 file. I'm gonna create a new file, which will be 12 inches in size from here and 48 inches from here. Its thickness will be 0.75. For the edge, you can set any XY datum position you like. Click OK. After clicking OK, I will import the file from here, the one we just adjusted. When we import the file here, since we've already set all the sizes, your desired design will fit perfectly. Now, to trace this file, we have the option here called Trace Bitmap. I use this option. As soon as you turn on this feature, it gives you two options, whether you want to stay in color or in black and white. Usually, we've already made the design almost black and white. If you want to make it completely black and white there, then select black and white. Otherwise, you can keep it in color. As I kept closing it, I minimized the colors. So now you only have these two colors left. Which color do you want to use? Whatever color you want, just click on it. Now, if you want to trace white, select white, and that's what will happen. If I uncheck this, it becomes a reverse selection. So what do I need to do? Black color, this is our trace color. That means the design elements in this will be traced. So what do we do here now? We looked at some of its features. Here, there's a corner fit option. If I leave it loose or make it tight or keep it at the default position, there's a noise filter, how much you want to control the noise in it. Anyway, this is the bitmaps feeding. I previewed it here, so look at this. If I set it to tight, preview it, see this? If I make it loose, check the preview here. So now you can see here that the effect is happening on its edges. If I try to adjust its pixel quality here, look at this. And if you set it to 1 pixel, you saw that it traced it here. Now this zigzag that happened, just understand that it's because of the picture you selected. This is its zigzag. Now look, if I set all of these to default, what will happen? Now, since this design we have here already has this zigzag inside it, this is its zigzag. If I set all positions to default, what happens? This design already has a zigzag at the bottom, so it's showing up inside because its resolution was very low. When tracing, you shouldn't say this. This is the difference in tracing. So if you are tracing it, then just click OK here. After clicking OK, close it and fit it here. Now I'll go to the layer and turn off its bitmap. And look, your design is ready. Now, this little bit of zigzag, I just wanted to show you this point. Make sure you select a good image. As soon as you select the image, if you select a good image, you won't face this problem. And if you want to edit it, first press Ctrl+U to ungroup it. After that, select each vector one by one, and you'll see how many nodes are inside it. Then you'll need to work on those nodes. Look, if you come here and start deleting them, as you keep deleting, the design will become smoother. So this is basically how it works. Tracing is best. With the reference, I'll show you how. From here, I turned on a new layer, gave it a color, and set it as current. Then, using the Draw tool, select a portion. Starting here, click on different points. Look at this. Since there's a curve here, you need to keep that curve as it is. You just have to give it enough distance so that the curve can be maintained. So look at this. See this? Since there's a curve here, you need the curve to stay just like this. You just have to give it enough space so that the curve can be maintained. So look at this. See this? The flower has been traced. Now if I turn off this layer from here, the shape appears. Now you can maintain it a little, right? Unpress, unpress, and select it, unpress, and now you can adjust its smoothness however you like. See, if you want to make it more pronounced, you can turn off the snap from here so you don't run into any issues like that. Look, if you want to reduce the curve from here, you can do that too. If you want to bring it more inward, see the curve on the inside has increased. If you want to increase the curve from here as well, you can do that too. If you want to increase it a bit more, you can do that from here. So in this way, you'll need to make some light adjustments. Look, I'm setting it from here. Okay, we worked on it in a normal position, and I'm turning off layer 1 as well. Now look, the curve has turned out really nice. If you are dressing it like this, after dressing, you can also manually create a good design on top of it. So basically, this was a method to straighten and flatten any skewed image, making sure it has equal distance on all four sides. If tracing like this, you can manually create a good design after. This method straightens and flattens skewed images, bringing them to equal distance on all four sides, using Photoshop, then Aspire for tracing. Hopefully this option will be useful. God willing, we'll meet again with a new lecture, new tutorial, and new technique. Please remember me in your prayers. Goodbye.